Hello, I'm Ophelia Celeste, call me Cell, and I'm going to be playing Vampire Therapist. I've got through the main game, so now we're going to be playing the DLCs. Or not the DLCs, but you know, the little side quest things. They might be DLCs, I don't know. Okay. Alrighty. I need to download this one. I forgot to do that before. But tonight I think we'll have. I don't know how long these are going to be, but I think they'll take up plenty of time. So I'm going to start with the Blood of Tori.
Samuel, my dear, thank you for making the time to speak with me.
Yeah, we're going to for a while, considering you tried to kill yourself at the end of the game. My God.
Come on, Andy. I've got all eternity. I've always got time for you.
An elder vampire such as I should not need your time. But I have been rather foolish of late, and disappointingly powerless against my own cognitive distortions.
Whoa, Chief, slow down. I can't catch up with all the cognitive distortions you're shooting right now.
I know. I have been neglectful of my own mental health, and that is why I wish to speak to you tonight. Before you came to learn from me, I was the only vampire therapist. But now that you have been trained, I wish to ask for your help.
I feel like this is a conflict of interest in so many ways. But also, they're vampires, so.
Me? Andy, you said it yourself. I'm a baby vampire. How am I supposed to be your therapist? Also, ain't it kind of weird to have your own client as a therapist?
To be a therapist is not a position of power over another, my friend. Naturally, I think a different therapist would be preferable, but you are here, and I understand your style. I believe you will be an excellent guide for my thoughts.
Well, if you think it'd be all right, well, of course I'm here to talk. I've been worried about you.
I am sorry for that. It has just been emotionally difficult to see how my past, much like myself, refuses to be buried. But perhaps my efforts to bury my past have been the problem. I wish to unburden myself to you, Samuel. I promise it will not take 3,000 years. I suppose you should pick what cognitive distortions I am likely to exhibit. I think we both know what my chief distortion is.
Oh,
As reformed vampires, we have similar mindsets.
Yeah.
It's disqualifying the positive. I guess it comes with the territory of being former bad guys.
Each shall ever be our crucifix to bear. What other distortions do you think I need help with?
I don't know. Like, he went through all of them at the end there. But, like, going, oh no, it's not this. Or not all of them, actually, but, like. Maybe labeling. Probably control fallacy. Blaming? I'm stuck between always right and catastrophizing. Let's go with catastrophizing. Actually, I want blaming. I want always right and catastrophizing.
Okay, Andy, I think I'm ready to talk.
Do you mind if we play a game while we speak? Much of what I will recall will be difficult to talk about.
Aw.
Well, sure thing, Andy. What'd you have in mind?
Let us play a little Settlers of Wallachia.
Fair.
Sure thing, Chief. Kind of funny how everything we do has to be vampire themed, but I'm game.
We cannot escape our natures, as Dr. Drain might say. What would you like your first move to be?
Build on my defenses.
I think I'd like to build up my defenses. The best offense is a good defense, as they say.
I am not sure they say that, but very well, my friend.
No, that's fairly sure that's the thing.
Now then, let me tell you the story of my early days as a vampire.
You have to build the tea.
Here. Perhaps this will tell you something of my origins. Please be careful with it. It's nearly as old as I am.
Dang, this thing belongs in a museum.
One could argue the same about us, my friend. But this vase has emotional value to me. This poor vampire with a spear in his chest, his name was Machariel. He was my bloodfather, and the love of my short life. He was 6,000 years old when we met. He knew secrets from another age. He taught me how civilization had restrained the human animal. We did not even need to speak. He could communicate poetry with a single glance.
I'm sure he could, babe.
This is the night he was killed by the Trojans. They attacked us in our sleep. I woke up to their laughter and his sweet blood splashing across my face.
Shit. Dang, Andy. I can't imagine how traumatized you must have been. Your heart must have been broken to pieces.
No, I did not allow myself to mourn. If I shed a single tear, it would have been my end. The pain I felt was so heartrending. I knew it would be my permanent death.
That is catastrophizing.
Chief, that sounds a little extreme. Emotional pain is real pain, but it doesn't kill on its own. I got no doubt that dealing with your partner's death would have hurt for a real long time. But people have been losing their partners since before we had words to speak with, and they all survived that pain.
Yes, I was young, Samuel. Like Edmund, I believed my pain was above all other pain. It is difficult to challenge a young vampire's extreme emotions. I could not face my own sorrow, and so I turned my still heart toward anger and vengeance alone. And my vengeance was mighty indeed. I tortured Mechariel's killers, of course, but this did not cool my blood for even a moment. I was resolved to taint their entire race. I planted a seed of darkness in the Trojan people that would blossom into a corrupted Roman Empire.
Oh, hold your horses there, boss. You saying you caused the fall of the Roman Empire?
Yes, the Trojans made Mechariel bleed, so I ensured that their fields were sown with blood, and all their harvests would taste of death. Their empire would be tainted from the start, built on suffering, and I aimed to ensure they would suffer.
I guess men really always have been thinking about the Roman Empire, but that's a lot to swallow, Chief. I don't know that one man can bring down an empire.
One day empire, maybe.
Perhaps, but I can draw a direct link from my actions to the tainted history of Rome. Mythology says that it was Athena who brought down Troy, but it was I. You see, it was I who eliminated the opposition to letting the Trojan horse into the city of Troy. I'd like to show you a painting I commissioned of this event. I think you would appreciate it.
Well, dang, that is one beautiful horse.
I thought you would appreciate the craftsmanship. We men of war love our horses.
Hey, I'm a man of peace now, and I love horses even more. What's it say on the side of the horse?
Falladum votum. It means a gift, or sacrifice of Pallas.
What's Pallas?
Historians might tell you it is a pseudonym for Athena, and the gift of the Trojan horse was in her name. That was not my meaning. Let me explain. After the fall of Troy, the Trojans were led by a man named Aeneas, though I usually thought of him as Enos.
Oh my gosh.
Real mature, Chief.
Come now, Samuel, I was young. Anyway, Aeneas was the ideal the Trojans wished to live up to.
We're young, apparently. And, keeping that nickname, I see.
He was extraordinarily handsome, strong, and wise. Not a mindless killer like those who killed my Mechariel. But I would reveal this ideal to be false. I knew the mind of Aeneas. He was a Trojan, and like all Trojans, selfish and cruel. I would prove there was nothing redeemable about a Trojan.
This could be a couple things. Okay, let's think. So, one, disqualifying the positive. Not all Trojans were bags of shit. Labeling, selfish, cruel, nothing redeemable. It could be always right. Because you're going... Let's see. There we go. Recently correct, double down opinions, evidence to refutable, Canyon. I don't think it's disqualifying the positive, actually. Between disqualifying the positive and always right, I feel like it's always right because there's more emphasis on I will do this. I know this.
I ain't never met a Trojan, but something tells me they weren't all the same.
Okay, fine.
But I would reveal...
Oh, but Chief, before a Trojan's a Trojan, they're a human. Maybe Trojan culture taught some of them to be a certain way, but being Trojan ain't in anyone's blood. Besides, ain't it you who's always reminded me that vampires don't have nationalities?
You are of course correct, my friend. Aeneas was born a human, not a Trojan. But I wished to hurt him and all his people. After the siege of Troy, the Trojans were a landless people. They drifted across the Mediterranean to the great city of Carthage in northern Africa. Carthage was run by Queen Dido, and even then, women proved more stable rulers. Her people were happy and content and did not fear the immigrant Trojans.
I feel like you maybe did something to change that.
They welcomed the wayward foreigners and invited them to settle in Carthage. They were offered fields to farm in, protection, and a fair place in the city. Indeed, Dido herself fell deeply in love with Aeneas, and he with her. It seemed the Trojans had found their peace. But for me this was not fair. Why should the Trojans live in peace? Why should they smile when I wept for Macariel? I believed they should suffer. I made certain that Aeneas and his Trojans would no longer be welcome in Carthage.
Oof.
I seduced pure Aeneas. He was not so
Oh,
pure when I was
okay.
done with him. Seduction was always a great skill of mine.
Well, that's, there's some layers to that.
I never would have guessed.
But I made sure that Queen Dido saw us. She adored Aeneas, and I broke that poor woman in my lust for vengeance.
Hello.
Aeneas could not face her again, and so set sail with his people away from the land that had so warmly welcomed them. Queen Dido built for herself a mighty pyre, and even from 3 leagues away, Aeneas was forced to see his love burn in the fire of her sorrow.
Okay. Extra.
He could not hide his shame from me, nor his tears. To me, they were beautiful.
Holy shit, Chief. I get that hurt people, but dang, you could have turned it down a notch.
Oh, that was not even the end of my vengeance. But first, I believe it is your turn to settle Wallachia. What are you going to do?
Oh my god, that's such a... Destroy mirrors?
Seems like I should get rid of any mirrors. Don't want the mortals to know my secret.
A good choice. Here in Germany, privacy is still a value. Now then, where was I? Ah, yes. The Trojans left Carthage for the northern Mediterranean. In the land we now know as Italy, Aeneas met a noble Greek man named Evander, and to my dismay, they set aside the horrors of the Trojan War and became allies. Evander's people were warring with a local tribe, the Rutulians, led by a bloodthirsty boy named Turnus. In the dark of night, I joined with Turnus. I trained his people in the art of war. I taught Turnus how to fight as a man who fears neither death nor shame. In the ensuing battles, the child of Evander, Pallas, was killed by Turnus, despite Aeneas' protection. Aeneas was enraged that his peace with the noble Greek Evander was threatened, and so, day after day, he slaughtered Rutulians until Turnus' people became afraid and began to turn against their leader. Knowing that Turnus would lose, I convinced him to challenge Aeneas to single combat, a final battle. But Turnus would only lose his life. I was determined that I convinced Turnus to wear the belt of Pallas, the child of Evander he had killed, as a trophy.
Oof.
As I predicted, Aeneas easily defeated Turnus, ending the war against the Rutulians. But as Aeneas extended his hand in mercy, he saw the belt of Pallas, and that mercy melted away. He drove his spear into Turnus' chest, and Rome was so founded, not in mercy, but in blood. So you see, Samuel, I was the cause of Rome's bloodlust. Every cruel emperor, every colonial injustice, even the spectacle of the gladiators, they were my doing.
That's control fallacy.
Oh, but Chief, that's assuming way more power and blame than you can take credit for. You hurt them Trojans, sure enough, in ways they couldn't erase. But you can't suggest that you created the morality of people who weren't even born yet.
I understand this now, but I do not wish to erase the part in Roman history I had. After all, this was only the beginning of my evil deeds against the people who once called themselves Trojans.
Jesus Christ. We're not done?
I'm sure you would agree that the things I did to the Trojans were horrific. Because of the loss of my lover, I aimed to taint the soul of an entire people. In the last 200 years, I have done significant acts of good. I have uplifted the poor. I fought the scourge of fascism. I have helped vampires find the peace that was so elusive to me. But the good I do now is washed in the blood of millennia. And all that good shall be lost in time, like drops of blood in the vein.
Disqualifying.
But Andy, who asked you to compare those evils to the good you do? Is the Andy of today gonna do more of them evils?
He will certainly aim not to.
So why are you cutting him down? Would it be better if he didn't commit acts of good? Do you need to remind him he's evil every 5 minutes? Or is that disqualifying the positive?
You see why I also need a therapist. Knowledge of cognitive distortions does not mean that I am immune to them.
So you've taught me. But I like the Andy I know, so I'll thank you kindly not to be such an asshole to him.
Crimson does say that she likes Imarnak to be an asshole-free zone. I would not wish to disappoint her. But regard well. I have claimed all of your souls, and am now the Voivode of Wallachia.
Oh shucks, these German board game rules are so complicated.
And I have had thousands of years of experience in the art of war, my friend. Next time, press your advantage. You may do a little better. But for now, let us go down and party. I am DJing tonight, and it is time to get down and boogie, as the children of the night will say.
Oh, are the mortals still saying that?
I don't actually know, but I am ready to let off some steam. Come, my friend, the night awaits.
All right. Continuing.
Hello, Samuel.
Evening, Chief. You doing all right? You sound a little down.
In truth, my friend, I have been dreading this evening.
Oh.
I appreciate your taking the time to point out my cognitive distortions, but there are some elements of my past that are especially painful to sort through.
Hey, we were both bad guys, Andy. But we're not anymore, and that's what matters.
This is true. Cognitive distortions are by nature illogical, but I have you to help me clear them up. You should decide what distortions you'd like to focus on tonight so that we may begin our work.
I feel like the ones I had last time were pretty good. Control. I don't know that he catastrophized light. There was always right. Go away. Maybe overgeneralization. Because I think we're still going to be focusing on the Trojans, apparently. Labeling?
I think these will suit me fine. Lay it on me, boss.
Let me see if I actually have a previous... Alright.
It is time for me to stop delaying. I suppose you might be able to guess what aspect of my past is giving me such distress.
Oh. Okay.
You're thinking about Heinrich Kramer, ain't you?
Yes. My actions 600 years ago bring me no end of shame and regret. I have never truly processed what I did. I have sought to distance myself from Heinrich Kramer, but that is exactly what Edmund Keane tried to do with his past. I am no different from him. I will summon my emotional strength and accept my part in Heinrich's development as a monster. I believe the 1400s were my worst century. I had professionally killed so many by then, and I was so good at it that murder seemed meaningless. I no longer felt that dark adrenaline that accompanies life-taking. I felt nothing.
Oof.
If I no longer felt anything at the taking of a life, did life matter at all?
It's either overgeneralization or disqualifying the positive. Or maybe control fallacy.
Poor Randy. His feelings are getting in the way of his thinking, I can tell.
If I no longer felt any...
Poor Randy.
Oh my god.
His feelings are getting in the way of his thinking, I can tell.
If I no longer felt any...
Boss, your feeling, or lack of feeling, didn't make reality. How you felt about the value of someone else's life didn't amount to a hill of beans. Heck, maybe that was unemotional reasoning.
Or perhaps anti-emotional reasoning. Yes, I projected my emotional emptiness onto the world. In order to combat this feeling of emptiness, I transitioned from a simple vampire into a far more terrible monster. I became what is known in modern times as a troll.
Okay. Funny, but labeling.
Chief, I'm gonna stop you there. No matter what you were a human being too. This talk of monsters and trolls is way too simple. It's labeling. It ain't helpful. If someone's just a troll, there ain't no way of helping them, is there?
You are correct, I am labeling. It is funny how easy it is to call ourselves names, even when we know we should not do the same to others. Very well. I acted in the manner of a troll. I have observed many trolls throughout history. It is a common fate for those who fail to find purpose. Ironically, it is often those who are most privileged who become agents of cruel chaos.
Like that billionaire fellow who runs all them companies but spends all his time being a low-down varmint online. I'm blanking on his name.
I'm afraid I'm unfamiliar with the man.
I think that'd piss him off more than anything.
It makes sense for a mortal billionaire to act in this way. Being so powerful yet feeling your impotence on a global stage is a strange kind of pain. Heinrich Kramer was such a man. I was doing business in the southern regions of the Holy Roman Empire when I met him in a tavern. He was drunkenly ranting and raving about the sin of Eve, how women were the cause of all evil, that witches surrounded us. He had gathered quite an audience, who delighted in egging him on to sound even more ridiculous. By the end of the night, he was spouting some nonsense about how breasts were chest horns and that all women possessed a sacral hump indicating a vestigial tail.
What the fuck?
Wait, what? Was this fella serious?
It was like a stand-up comedy show, but with more vomiting and misquoted Bible verses. But I was very old already. I saw through the humor, through the true hatred beneath. I cannot believe I ever saw value in such a fallen one. I ought to be ashamed.
Control?
Well, dang. By Andy's reckoning, neither of us was worth saving either. Is that true?
I cannot believe I ever saw.
Well, dang. By Andy's reckoning, neither of us was worth saving either. Is that true?
I cannot believe I ever.
Now hold up
There
there,
we go.
Chief. You've been a fallen one yourself, haven't you? I'd say you always had value. Heinrich Kramer's an asshole, I ain't gonna deny that. But he's a human asshole. I mean, not that he's literally a human asshole. That would be pretty gross.
Oh my god.
I understand your meaning, Samuel. You are correct. I again let my passions get the better of me.
Well, that's okay, Andy. All we're doing is being aware, right?
You are, of course, correct, my friend. I will continue. Heinrich was already an influential friar in the Dominican order, with ties going all the way up to the Vatican. But his hatred was childish and personal. His persecution of witches failed because he seemed entirely petty. I functioned as his mentor and press relations manager.
Wait, so you were a warrior, an assassin, and a PR guy?
Is it so ridiculous? Assassinations are often public relations moves. Dictators have their critics killed for professional reasons, not just personal ones. Anyway, I turned his rambling manifestos into something more grounded. We made a scholarly appeal to Pope Innocent VIII to condemn witches, and he was only too glad to issue a papal bull.
What's a papal bull?
It's a memo issued by the Pope to alert Christians to new positions or doctrines of the Church. In this papal bull of 1484, the Pope condemned those who consorted with devils, incubi, and succubi, and those who cast spells.
Huh, it does sound like a bunch of bull.
You are not the first to think so. This papal bull was largely ignored. Pope Innocent VIII was not a well-regarded pope.
I was gonna say, I feel like I recognize the name of something else, but he's the 8th, so,
At this time in his life, he was a frail old man, mostly surviving on the breast milk of teenaged girls. He was far from a spiritual authority.
What?
Oh, yuck. I'm starting to see where the Puritans came from.
The late 1400s often mirror our current times, I find. Intensely concentrated power does terrible things to men, especially when they feel threatened. Heinrich was intensely disappointed when this papal bull did not result in the widespread persecution of women. I encouraged him to intensify his efforts. Had it not been for my encouragement, perhaps the Inquisitions of the time would never have happened.
I think you're laying too much of the blame on yourself, Chief. Yeah, you played your part in Heinrich's evil doing, but he did too. Maybe if you hadn't encouraged him, someone else would have. Or maybe he didn't even need any help. You can't know.
It is hard to imagine that he would have achieved his goals without me, but perhaps you are right. I cannot know. It is very easy to assign myself all of the blame because I can control my own actions.
Well, that's right. And you can't control Heinrich's actions.
See how the student becomes the master? Yes, you are correct. I could not control Heinrich, but I did help him. It was at this time that I offered Heinrich the chance to dedicate his immortal soul to his dark work by taking it from him. The supreme, delicious irony of welcoming a hateful man of the church into eternal darkness was too tempting for me. Of course he took my offer. He was all too eager to devote eternity to his hateful work. And just because I thought it would be funny, I told him we needed to have homosexual sex in order for the dark ritual to work.
It's a little funny.
He was so eager to abandon his beliefs to indulge his hatred.
Jeez, Chief. You really ain't too picky about who you're getting intimate with.
You are such a sweet blood, Samuel. Sex need not always be about intimacy. In this case, it was the cruel irony that gave me satisfaction. Heinrich took to unlife well. He dedicated himself wholeheartedly to his great book, the Malleus Maleficarum.
Oh, you mentioned that before. Well, what was in this book?
Here, take a look. I have an old copy. This is a manual of sorts on how to identify, persecute, and kill witches. It was a work of dark fantasy garbage, unworthy of any respect.
Jeez, Andy. I feel like you ought to burn this thing. Smells like brimstone and bad news.
No, Samuel. If the past does not teach us, we will be doomed to repeat it. I kept it to remind me of just how far I had once fallen. I gave him the brilliant idea of attaching Pope Innocent's papal bull to this work in order to give it legitimacy. We also fabricated an endorsement from the University of Cologne. Fact-checking was so slow back then that it would take decades to challenge the legitimacy of such an endorsement.
Sounds like an election debate.
You see, my friend, mortals are eager to follow instructions. Church authorities were all too willing to enforce these rules.
Hold on there, boss. Maybe some mortals want to be ordered around, but there are always just as many rebels. You gotta know that by now.
Of course, I am sorry. I let my emotions get the better of me. I think my current disgust for my old behavior is coloring my thoughts. But you are correct. I am overgeneralizing. You see, my belief that mortals could be controlled was validated by the clergy. I know that many, the wiser among them, ignored the Malleus Maleficarum, but many did not. And so, Heinrich became a superstar influencer. His works spread across Europe, and witchcraft, once a superstitious joke, became a very real problem to the public. This climate of persecution spread throughout the Holy Roman Empire, and would later fuel witch hunts even in your own country.
You know, reminds me about anti-vaxxers. Because, obviously, we used to go, hey, let's not die of preventable illnesses and not let our kids die of preventable illnesses. And now people won't fucking vaccinate their dogs for rabies. So.
But even this systemic persecution was not enough to sustain me. Acceptance of radical ideas has a way of normalizing the radical, and I soon became bored of Heinrich.
Wait, you helped make a witch hunting manual popular throughout Europe, and then you got bored.
A troll requires fuel to feel they matter. If a troll ceases to be radical to others, they are beings without purpose. I told Heinrich as much when I dumped him. I said that he bored me. He was a mere tool to be used.
Oh, dang, Chief. You didn't think much of Heinrich after all, did you?
Many spoke of mortals as insects. I felt much the same way. When you are more than 1,000 years old, it is easy to fall into such thought patterns. Legitimizing witchcraft was a significant accomplishment, to be sure, but its fulfillment left me feeling empty. When the clerical authorities began persecuting witches on their own, I felt rather left out. I wanted their persecution to happen because of me.
Control.
But Andy, the actions of others weren't just because of you. They got that dirty old manual you held right, but it was up to them to decide to listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
You speak truly, my friend. I wish you had been around back then to speak with me. The existential angst of a very old vampire is hard to communicate. I just wanted to feel that I mattered somehow. By 1492, I had to go somewhere where I feel more effective as an agent of chaos.
1492. What happened in 1492?
And there was no better place to go than Spain, specifically Granada.
Oh, is it the Spanish Inquisition? Oh no.
Well, why Spain?
Spain in 1492 was a mess. For more than 260 years, Granada had been a center of learning. The Muslim Nasrid dynasty ruled, but Jews and Christians were allowed to practice their religion and even rose to high positions in society. But when Ferdinand and Isabel of Castile arrived with the Spanish Inquisition, it was incompatible with the harmony that defined Granada.
Damn.
I smelled blood, for lack of a more apt phrase. My instincts were correct. I arrived in Granada in April. Though the stones were still stained red, its conquerors were hungrier for blood than I was.
Yeah.
Ferdinand and Isabella had just sanctioned Christopher Columbus's trip westward in search of treasures to fund their conquests.
Oh, that's what it was. I was like, was that 1592 or 4? But yeah. In 1492, Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue to go enslave people.
Hey, I know this one. In 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue.
I have heard this poem as well, but it did something quite terrible. Do you know what it is?
I mean...
Columbus didn't actually discover America. Folks were already living there. Yes, I would say that Ferdinand and Isabella wrote this poem themselves, but unfortunately, they were too learned to write something so insipid. The journey of Columbus was not a noble journey, but a savvy and cruel move by Ferdinand and Isabella to solidify their tenuous position as rulers of a unified Catholic Spain. If I could find my way into their court, I could commit such devilry.
What devilry?
It would not be easy for a dark-skinned demon like me to worm myself into their graces, but I found a way.
Would you leave me alone, you psychopath? Sorry, my dog is being a nutcase.
Let me guess. You seduced Ferdinand. Or Isabella.
Both.
Samuel, I am hurt. You think I just fucked my way through history, don't you?
Oh, shucks, Chief. I didn't mean nothing by it. I just saw a run in fame and thought,
Well, you were right. I seduced Isabella of Castile's chief advisor.
Oh.
They called her La Latina.
Inspired.
What a woman. Here, I have a painting of her. Her name was Beatriz Galindo. She was one of the most learned mortals I have ever met, if not the most. This painting does not capture her essence well, but she was also devilishly attractive. There is nothing sexier than an inquiring mind, and Beatriz, she was one of the sexiest women I have ever known.
you sound a little smitten there, Chief. Better not let Crimson hear.
She knows about Beatriz. Not everything, of course. She doesn't need to hear the most intimate details. But, seeing as you are acting in the capacity of my therapist, I can tell you, yes? She used to do this one thing with her finger.
I ain't a Puritan. I just think all this stuff should maybe be done behind closed doors.
I'm sorry, my dear. I don't wish to go too far, but I will still unburden myself. I believe I did Beatriz great harm. She was newly married when I met her in Granada. Her husband was a man named Francisco Ramirez de Madrid. As his name implies, he was of Madrid, meaning that his lovely wife was often left alone in Granada. It took me an entire month to get her into bed. Perhaps the longest courtship of my entire life.
Shucks. For an immortal being, you don't take your time much, do you?
I don't usually have to try. But Beatriz was a woman of principle. She was not ready to cheat on her husband or her holy vows. She did not share her body with me immediately, but in her mind, the deed had been done 1,000 times already from the first day we met.
Okay.
I knew her by reputation before I met her, and I knew the way into her underclothes. It was through Latin. Other than myself, she was perhaps the global authority on Latin, largely an unspoken language at the time. I quoted Virgil to her, the story of my old nemesis, Enos.
You mean Aeneas, right?
What did I say?
You definitely said anus.
Oh, my mistake. Anyway, I knew I would be her match in Latin, so I told her, Nunc scio quid sit amor. Now I know what love is. She admonished me for my forwardness, but did so with a smile that she could not hide from me. With her husband in Madrid, I spent the warm Spanish evenings with her, drinking her blood and sharing thoughts of terrifying intimacy.
Oh, meaning you got up to a lot of kinky stuff.
Oh, the kinkiest. We probed each other so deeply. Do you know what we did?
Oh my god.
Well, I can guess.
We discussed Aristotle.
Boo.
Oh, okay, maybe I can't guess.
You cannot know true intimacy until you have delved deeply into Aristotelian logic, biology, and virtues with another.
See, I'd go for Diogenes.
But Samuel, I used her. Even with the bond we formed, a bond that few couples on this earth could ever achieve, I used her.
I mean, everyone uses each other.
Through her influence, I was able to embed myself into the Spanish court. I introduced Ferdinand and Isabella to the Malleus Maleficarum. They adored it, of course. They loved blood as much as I did.
So you were feeding poison to a couple of already rabid dogs.
Yes, it inspired their brutal actions against the conquered Muslims and Jews, which delighted me in this foolish troll era of mine. After evenings discussing mystic ancient virtues with Beatriz, this was a great betrayal. I deserved to suffer for helping Heinrich, and I deserved to suffer for using Beatriz. I think she was trying to save me through our conversation, Samuel. I might have charmed her with my voice and my words, but she knew who I was. Have you read much about Aristotelian ethics?
We didn't discuss a lot of Aristotle out on the range.
I think he will not be so alien to you. He described a concept known as the virtuous mean. It is not so different from the middle path we speak of so often. Between purposelessness and overambition, there is fair ambition. Between shyness and shamelessness, there is modesty.
Reminds me a lot of Isabella D'Este and Dr. Drain.
Exactly. We cannot sustain being individuals of pure vice or pure virtue. There is no peace in such ambition. But I could not hear her wisdom. I was 2,500 years old. Who was immortal to talk to me about ethics and virtue?
Always right.
I reckon you know now you were being always right. Mortals have got a heck of a lot to teach us. It sounds like Beatrice had a real good head on her shoulders, like them transcendentalists I was lucky enough to get to know. I think mortals are better at asking themselves immortal questions than we are.
You are right about that. It seems that we immortals are excellent at delaying those questions, sometimes for millennia. Even at 3,000, I am certainly not always right, as you have proven to me several times over.
Oh, shucks,
Shall we skip the part where you disqualify the positive, my dear?
All right, just this once.
It is simply difficult to reconcile my disappointment with myself, Samuel. That I helped the evil and used the virtuous. Once I had helped to fuel the bloody ambitions of Ferdinand and Isabella, I abandoned Beatrice.
Sheesh.
It is a dark thing indeed to live to be a troll. There is no fulfillment in such a life, only pain. A troll such as I was is a societal toxin. We break down the social contract and reduce humanity to a bestial state.
I think you're the one doing the reducing there, Andy. A troll might be a troll, but they're human too. I don't think anyone ever gets brought into this world thinking, gee, I just want to make people miserable. That ain't you, right?
I do not remember being a baby, but no, that was not my concern. It is true. I had the capacity to be more than a troll. I simply did not recognize that fact. Alas, I believe I was a far more successful troll than I have been a sincere human being. I used Heinrich and Beatrice more effectively than I have ever helped kindly vampires.
Disqualified.
Andy, you're disqualifying the positive again. Whatever troll you were in the past, comparing him to the Andy of today is as useful as milking a bull. Well, actually, it might make the bull happy, but we ain't gonna talk about that. Point is, if we're talking about the good you do now, what do your troll days have to do with anything? You're being a real Count Gloomula if you're taking something good and ruining it for no reason.
Count Gloomula? I know of no such man.
I made him up, but he's just who you're being when you're knocking yourself down.
You are correct, Samuel. May that Andromachos remain buried. I will not forget him, but not so that I might torture myself, but to remember how far I have come. I must say, I am feeling much less burdened having spoken with you, my friend. I feel as though I am in bat form already, with the wind beneath my wings.
I'm glad to hear that, Andy. I don't want you weighed down.
Would you like to go out for a night fly with me, my friend?
That sounds like a mighty fine idea.
Then let us go. The moon is high and a night awaits.
All right. Fathoms below.
Hey, Andy, you ready for our therapy sesh, partner? Hey there, you ain't Andy. Panoptabella, what are you doing here?
I was looking for the bathroom.
Bit lost, aren't you?
Well, this ain't the bathroom.
I can see that. I'll go then.
Hey, Chief, what's going on?
Panoptabella and I were simply having an exchange.
In exchange of what?
Samuel, my dear, you do not need to know everything. It is not my business to share. We are here for my therapy session, are we not?
Yeah, that's right. How are you doing, boss?
In truth, I feel much improved, my friend. I believe unburdening myself to you has been most helpful. My lightening of spirit comes with its own distortions, however. Which would you like to focus on tonight?
You do have control fallacy and always right. Also labeling. maybe mind reading. Let's do that one today.
I think I've got what I need to handle an ancient vampire. Go on, Chief. What's been on your mind?
The last century has been a bit isolating. Other elder vampires think themselves above self-improvement, so we have little to speak of.
Well, I guess that ain't no surprise. New ways of thinking don't usually come out of retirement communities.
Indeed, we elderly often prefer to sing praises to old glories, but there is no glory in my past, only death.
I want to stop you there, Chief. There is no glory in my past, only death. You're 3,000 years old. Can you really say you got nothing to be proud of in that time?
I am not proud to be an effective killer, my friend.
I just have trouble believing all you did was kill and sleep for 3,000 years.
That is fair. I have met many fascinating people and seen many forgotten wonders.
See, there you go. Don't go tossing out the blood with the blood bag.
You are correct. Against my own wisdom, I hope to erase the parts of my unlife that bring me shame.
Well, it's like you told me. Everyone's got cognitive distortions, and we ain't ever gonna get over them.
Too true. I must accept the evil so that I can appreciate the good. I confess I often wish to give myself a pass, because in hindsight my evil was so pointless. Have you ever heard the phrase, the banality of evil?
Oh, just about every other day anymore.
Oh, no, but I can guess what it means.
Evil is boring.
It just means evil is boring. It's like you said, there ain't no glory in being a bastard. It's just tired and petty.
It is true that people often commit acts of evil in order to be seen and validated, and yes, it is petty. But it does not speak to the banality of evil.
Oh.
Historian Hannah Arendt coined this phrase to describe the actions of some Nazi leaders. In Western tradition, when we think of evil, we imagine powerful creatures of darkness intent on hurting others. Even in this understanding, evil has no ideology. It is, as you say, dumb.
Oh,
And when we perceive evil as dumb, it is tempting to simply dismiss it. If I live in a life that is no longer evil, it does not feel right to be judged by the centuries I spent in dumbness. Indeed, it was the realization of the banality of evil that made me question it.
Well, how's that?
Well, you and I know what effective killers we are. There is no mortal that would dare stand against us. We are physically superhuman. But are we truly greater beings than mortals? How many people do you think I have killed, Samuel?
Well, you being 3,000 years old and all, I bet you've killed.
Okay. 3,000 years. Let's assume. Like, let's drop it down to maybe 300 a year. So that's gonna be 300,000 times 9. So let's go with a few million.
You must have killed a few million mortals. That's a hell of a thought.
You know as well as I do how normalized killing can be for our kind. Yes, I have killed millions. The truth is, I have no idea how many people I have killed. I was certain, however, that I was the dominant force of death in the world.
Not true. Disease. Generally. Like smallpox, plagues, tuberculosis, the flu. Yeah.
But in the 20th century, humanity showed me that I was far from superhuman.
Oh, we're gonna talk about the bomb, huh?
If I thought I was detached from the value of life, World War I showed me I was not special in this.
Oh, yeah. I kind of missed both of the world wars. I was busy walking at that time.
They were terrible, Samuel. Mass death events have happened before. The Napoleonic Wars, the Taiping Rebellion, and even older wars killed millions. But the industrialization of war turned corpses into mere numbers. Humanity could kill its enemies without ever seeing their faces.
Yep.
I was there on the Western Front. I saw mortars and mustard gas used indiscriminately, men ripped to unidentifiable shreds. Day after day, month after month, the bodies filled mass graves, each death contributing to no ultimate goal. Back then, I was a creature who saw death as glorious. I thought that mortals were food, owed to me because I was greater than they. This casual mass murder showed me that I was not above my humanity. Murder was humanity. I'm afraid, Samuel, that I quite lost my appetite for blood. I did not think such a thing was possible for a vampire.
Dang, you must have been pretty depressed.
You could say that. I was disgusted. With myself. With humanity. Certainly with my own humanity. One night, standing on a North Sea beach, utterly lost, I walked into the sea. Water filled my lungs, but I did not die. I kept walking into the cold gloom to whatever fate would befall me.
What were you thinking in that moment?
I was not. Without a purpose, all I had was walking. That was all that mattered.
That actually does make a lot of sense, I reckon. I did much the same thing.
I thought you would understand. Yes, I did not walk for a purpose. Perhaps I was walking to find a purpose.
So, what happened?
The light of moon and sun faded away. I saw things in the darkness. Flashes of nightmares, giant eyes peering at me in the gloom.
Now be the squid.
I felt the heat of volcanic plumes. Saw explosions of strange life in the corpses of dead whales. Predators like myself abound in the deep places of the world. These ghosts in the darkness consumed one another, horrors feeding upon horrors. As I walked further still, I came upon the wreckage of a great ship, littered with material reminders of the mortals who once walked its decks.
Titanic, are we gonna not be stereotypical?
I will never forget the experience of seeing this symbol of humanity's power over nature decaying in the abyss. I had to sketch
Of
the
course
great
it's
ship
the
as soon as I
Titanic.
could. It was named the Titanic.
The Titanic. I remember that story. John Muir would say it was a symbol of man's hubris. He could be a grumpy old cuss sometimes.
I saw it more as a symbol of nature's ignorance of humanity's hubris. The creatures of the cold deep paid it no mind, ignorant of the death all around them, for there were no bodies to speak of.
Fun fact, apparently the Titanic is kind of disintegrating. Because down at the bottom of the ocean there's bacteria that can eat metal because they've lived off of the hydrothermal vents, right? So all the metal ships are like, slowly falling apart. But the wooden ships aren't, because there's no bacteria that eat wood at the bottom of the ocean. Which makes sense because, anytime wood ends up in the ocean, if it's, smaller things, basically, it doesn't sink. You have to have all the metal bits and that to get it to sink down to the bottom. So nothing's adapted at the bottom of the ocean to actually eat the wood. And it's kind of like how we have petrified wood now. Actually, I don't know if the petrified wood is necessarily this, but way back, there were trees, but there wasn't anything that could eat the trees, basically. So there was just a whole bunch of trees that died and didn't really decay. So that might be petrified wood. I have to double check that one. But side note, sorry.
I think it was then that I finally understood. Death, as a state of nature, has no meaning.
Death as a state of nature has no meaning. I mean, yes, but it's like things generally have the meaning that you assign to them. It's like, let's go with the tree. A tree on its own exists. It grows from a seed, typically. And it either continues to grow or doesn't, in that it dies, or it falls down and dies, that sort of thing. And just being a tree doesn't really have meaning. Like, it exists, and it provides oxygen from using nutrients in the soil and water. But like a greater meaning, not really. But then we come along and we go, hey, that's a beautiful tree, or hey, that's an ugly tree, and or you know, in the variations thereof. So like if it's oak, oh, it's grand, majestic, long living, all that jazz. Or if it's I don't remember one that's maybe it's thorn. Thorn is a negative connotation one, but all those connotations are meanings humanity's based pretty much arbitrarily assigned to them. And so I guess maybe it's like a hollow tree is creepy, a burnt tree is depressing. I mean, it can be depressing, but also a burnt tree can be a part of the cycle. So death in and of itself, no, it doesn't have a meaning. But it kind of goes, there's something, I believe it was from a video on Everything Everywhere All at Once that I saw on YouTube. And they were talking about if nothing really matters, everything does. And that kind of hit me. Because everything matters the amount that you feel, that you think feel that it matters. Yes, there's some things that will affect people, like outside of yourself. So it's like there's things that have maybe more or fewer logical consequences, maybe natural consequences. But what things matter is more of a personal sort of thing. And because everyone is an individual and has their own thoughts and feelings about what matters to them, sometimes those matters coalesce into a greater. I might not be going anywhere super coherent with this, but I don't know. Like, death matters as much as it matters to you. I think that's where I'm going with this. But alright, let's move on.
Death only has whatever meaning we give it, and my death had none.
Literally. I was just chatting for like 5 minutes just to get to that point. Okay. Your death does have meaning.
You know, I'm pretty sure Eddie King said exactly the same thing.
I do not deny it. Edmund was in some ways correct. If we do not give our own lives meaning, do they have meaning?
That's still Nosferatu thinking and disqualifying the positive. You ain't the only one that gets to define the meaning of life and death. Death doesn't erase the memory of a person, just the body.
I suppose one could say their hearts will go on.
Stop. Okay. I'm dealing with the dog that's trying to menace me, and then you pull that shit.
I hope you ain't gonna sing it.
Don't worry, my friend. I think we all heard that song a little too much. But you are right. I was so sure I understood death, but I was only beginning to understand mortality.
I get it. There's a reason we're in the same business, I reckon.
Your reckoning is well perceived, and I am grateful that I had my own reckoning. As I watched the creatures of the deep swimming among the wreckage of the great ship, I realized how small my life truly was. I had wondered for many centuries what it would be like to venture into space. Into the great ocean, that need was satisfied.
Yeah.
For once, I felt small, powerless, a small spark of life in the void. All my unlife was a primal scream. I am here, I matter. But I finally understood that I could never be heard.
Control.
I think I get what you're saying, Andy. The deep woods gave me the same experience of feeling small and insignificant. But we can't help but matter, and it's a control fallacy to say we don't. Maybe we don't get heard in the same way we want to be heard, but that we can't control. But the sea knew you were there, just like the woods knew I was there.
Arguable.
I must admit, Samuel, I am a bit envious of your wisdom at such a young age.
Oh, shucks, I ain't wise. I'm just too much of a fool to know I shouldn't assume too much.
Labeling.
Come now, Samuel, this is my session. You can disqualify the positive later.
Fair enough.
I will say it was a terrifying experience, but one that I am unendingly grateful for. And it was more achievable than going to space.
Vampires in space. I guess there's no real reason why we shouldn't go out there. We got time for long travel.
Ooh. Idea.
Maybe we should take a trip to Mars sometime.
Martian vampires? It's a little silly, Samuel.
Do you need to breathe? Ooh. Ooh, ideas.
Take me to your bleeder.
Oh, Samuel, that was truly terrible. And I adore you for it. Perhaps the day will come when we do visit Mars, but I am content to stay here. There is much to discover about our existence on Earth. After this dark journey, I walked back across the Atlantic, sustained with fish blood and a new will to understand myself. My timing could not have been better, because a new form of science was just coming into prominence: psychology, the study of the self.
Well, when was this?
Around 1920. I was not the only human being to question humanity's choices after the Great War. Indeed, if humanity did not question itself after such horrors, this would be a condemned world. It was my questioning of the self that brought me to this place. Psychology was born right here in Leipzig.
Don't say fruit. Don't say
No
fruit.
shit.
None at all, my friend. A man named Wilhelm
Okay,
Wundt
thank
lived
God.
just on the street. He developed a method where we describe our own thoughts and sensations.
Well, that sounds mighty familiar.
Yes, the hints of cognitive distortions were present already. I read his works voraciously. I was obsessed with the study of the self. I became interested in my own feelings. Why did I rage for so long? What did it feel like physically? And I realized that my prevailing feeling was always fear.
No tracks.
Like Edmund, I was a coward. Oh dear, the similarities are piling up.
Now let's take a step back there, Chief. I've been afraid too. Dr. Drain was afraid. Isabella D'Este was afraid. Mitty was afraid. And we know about Eddie. I reckon every mortal's been afraid too. That don't make us cowards, and it don't mean we're Eddie Keene neither. It just makes us human.
Yes, I believe I know this in my dead heart as well. Fear is a part of nature, and we are only slightly unnatural. Why was I not interested in myself for nearly 3,000 years? I should have shed my ignorance long before. But I did develop an obsession with knowing myself, and it took me to some very awkward places.
All right, Chief, I'm ready. I ain't afraid of sex, so you can talk to me.
I suppose it was about sex.
Here we go.
This is when I began my studies with Sigmund Freud.
Ah,
I spent
goddamn
much time
you.
with him. He shared this obsession with understanding the self. We analyzed each other, which helped us to analyze ourselves.
Is that what you did?
We hid nothing. We knew that we would understand the truth if we laid it bare.
I think that's always right.
Well, that sounds pretty nice, I gotta say. But what if that certainty that you were right made you see the truth differently?
Excellent observation, Samuel. I am impressed. Yes, our
Yeah.
scientific method would have broken Dr. Drain's heart. The bearing of truth in this case was difficult. I horrified him, I believe.
Oh. Mind reading.
Andy, you can't know what Sigmund Freud was thinking. I know you've done some blood-curdling stuff like I have. If he didn't tell you he was horrified, it's only your guessing.
I know this is true logically, but I believe we both opened certain boxes that did not need opening.
His mommy issues?
You don't have to tell me if you don't want to.
Take a look at this picture. What is your impression of this woman?
Stern.
Well, she looks kind of stern, I guess.
She was certainly a very strong woman by all accounts, mighty like Isabella d'Este. This woman was most beloved by Sigmund. She was his mother. He would show me this very picture and say, Andromachos, if she were your mother, you would want to fuck her too.
Okay. I constantly question straight people. It's fine.
I don't use this phrase often for obvious reasons, but what in the Sam hell?
He could not imagine why anyone else would feel differently. Of course, I overshared with him as well. I do not think my recounting of the convent of San Sisto orgy of 1417 helped us to gain a greater sense of self-awareness. Though I always found it humorously ironic the way the nuns still cried out to God.
Well, they are brides of Christ.
Boy, you really like a little novelty in the bedroom, don't you?
Oh, Samuel, you are such a millennial.
I'm way too old to be a millennial, Andy.
I mean to say that you were born in the last millennium. You will understand when you are over 1,000 years old.
You know, you're not my daddy.
No, I am not, though perhaps I joke like one. But Sigmund had made a grave mistake in our explorations of the self, and in doing so, cast doubt on the truly groundbreaking work we did. He eventually died, as mortals do, but my lust for understanding the self was not quenched. I became interested in the philosophy of those of my lifetime, and the philosophy of the modern era. It was like charting a map through humanity. It was invigorating. I felt alive. This feeling showed me that I was on the right path. The thinkers whose works I read all had the same obsession I did. They wanted to unlock the formula of humanity. That was my true aim as well. I thought that my immortality made me the ideal student of the self. I had time to question and explore. But I did not account for the fact that the act of questioning made me grow and change myself.
Okay.
I am no longer the man I was yesterday, and tomorrow I shall be someone new.
Yeah.
I have become aware of ways in which I could be more mindful, more kind, more fashionable even.
Don't say that of yourself. You are stunning.
I chase the truth, Samuel, and I chase the good. It is a shame that I can only chase them, never catch them.
You ain't never gonna be perfect, Chief. Neither am I. You're right. The more aware we are, the more them goalposts are gonna keep moving. We can always be better. But I think you're disqualifying the positive of being good enough. You're trying, Andy, every day. I think that's the battle won right there. You ain't gonna slip now. 4,000-year-old Andy is gonna be a force of good to be reckoned with.
I know. It reminds me of a pearl of wisdom Marcus Aurelius gave me that I could not yet understand. He said, "Waste no time in arguing what a good person should be. Be one."
Good, yeah.
I take these words to heart now, but it is hard to not have deep regrets.
I think you know how to address them regrets there, Andy.
Are you going to do the horse thing? I would prefer you didn't.
No, I ain't gonna do the horse thing.
I am relieved, but yes, you know what I need, and I gratefully accept it.
But do you? No.
Andy, let's accept all the dark deeds you done. Let's accept that it took you a long time to change. Ain't no getting around that. It's time to show a little compassion. You're doing your best. You're a better person for all the work you done. You, my friend, are good enough.
Good enough. I suppose I am.
Would you like a hug there, boss?
I would love a hug, my friend.
That was sweet. Ta-da! Is that it? Hello? Let's see if I can... Alright, thank you. Maybe. We'll see if it does it. It might not let me. Okay, never mind. We'll close out of here. Maybe I'll see if I can... Where's my Steam? Okay, library. Vampire therapist. Let's see. No, I don't want that right now. Damn, okay. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Is that or is that not Lestat? Oh, cuties. How do I get? I want to acquire. Okay. Let's do the store. Vampire therapist. Couples therapy, yay! Okay, scroll. Okay, well, I'll get this for next time. Actually, I want to look real quick at my library for this because I don't think I got any more achievement, which is depressing. Because I only have 53%. So who am I missing? I'm not phenomenal at distortions, so I have yet to get 20 in a row. I don't know what the taste is. I've yet to see the quiz. Clowns. Couple therapy. French Revolution. Discontented child. New path in modern political systems. I think that one's gonna be related to couples therapy. And so is Bacchanalia because there's the whole Bach thing. I don't know how many are going to be related to couples therapy. I'd hoped a couple were going to be related to the add-ons, but apparently not. Okay, we're going to call that for tonight. Next Wednesday might be a little bit dog. Oh, god damn it, dog. Leave me alone. Ugh. Leave me alone. Stop touching me. Stop. Leave me. No. No. Jesus. You can calm down for 5 seconds. I'm gonna give you a bath. You stink. Sorry about that. Okay. Anyway, next Wednesday. You got the bolt down. So great for you. Pig. You're fat. I will fat shame you because you look like a stuffling pig. Go away. Okay. Anywho, next Wednesday. Don't know necessarily if we're gonna do that. I have a thing that's going on that will probably drag very late. So honestly, I probably should move it to Tuesday. We might bump to Tuesday. Um, and then same thing with not this Saturday, but the following Saturday. So honestly, this Saturday, I was planning on starting Hollow Knight last Saturday, and then I didn't get around to streaming or even saying anything about it. But we're not going to talk about that. But this coming Saturday, plan was to start Hollow Knight since everyone's going so batshit about Silksong. But I don't know if I want to start that where I may or may not be available the following Saturday. So, but I don't know if I have anything that's just going to be a nice little one-off. Really don't know how long any of these are. I know Disco Elysium is going to take a minute. I don't want to do that one. Wow, the Nights takes a minute. I should just download Hollow Knight while I'm here. What's Into the Breach? Maybe I should look for somebody that has a small number of achievements. Kids. I thought I'd gotten through all the prototypes, but I keep finding new ones. Magica. What's Lost Winds? Well, that only has 11 achievements. How long does this take? Is there any description? I don't even know what this is, honestly. Star page. Wield the awesome powers and reel the wind spirit to guide him. How long does it take though? I mean, looks like people like it. Converted from Wii, I guess. It can be finished around 2 hours. I might do this one then. And, just see about it. So let's plan for Lost Winds then. And maybe I'll change my mind, do Hollow Knight. That kind of depends on if people start posting about Silksong. I might get interested. But if this is just about 2 hours, we might just do that and get one out of my library. Because I have so many. I don't know if I can delete any of these just to be like, hey, yeah, I've got through them. Magica. I don't know. Massive Chalice. There's something else that. Oh god. Okay. Mosaic. That one's kind of short too, or at least doesn't have many. What's the start page on that? About 2-3 hours. Ooh. Narrative. Okay, maybe this one actually, because that seems more interesting just for me right now. I'm not feeling like cutesy stuff. So, actually, let's just plan on doing Mosaic then. And I'll try, depending on how long it actually takes, I'll try and play it all the way through. But yeah. I don't know how long couples DLC will take. There's a lot of achievements left, so that might last me a couple days. But afterwards, because like I'll do Mosaic, and then depending on how the following Saturday goes, we may or may not start Hollow Knight. I do want to start that, um, just because everyone's going crazy again, and it's always looked cute. I just haven't got around to it. But Hollow Knight planned for 2 Saturdays from now. For Wednesdays, we're gonna finish the DLC for Vampire Therapist. I don't know how long it'll take. Probably more than one session, given these free ones were about 20-ish minutes. So I'm assuming it's gonna take well, how long did I take on Vampire Therapist so far? It says 12.4 hours. So it's been like an hour today, so approximately 11 and change hours. And so maybe at least 2 to 4. So maybe another 2-ish sessions. We'll have to see. But after that, I do want to start Disco Elysium. I was putting off starting it because I was like, oh, maybe I'll just do some short games. But I don't know. There's a lot of decision making to do the short games, frankly. And I just need to be like, okay, we're playing this today, just to help my executive dysfunction right now because it is struggling. So, plan for that. Saturday, we'll do. What did I say we're going to do? Whoops, I've already forgotten. Mosaic. There we go. Saturday, Mosaic. Next Wednesday, Couples Therapy DLC. Next Saturday, if we play Hollow Knight. Saturday after that, potentially continue Vampire Therapy Couples Counseling DLC. If we're done with that already, we will do Disco Elysium. So that's the plan for now, barring more life changes, because it has been a shitty month. Not like September in and of itself, but like the last actual month has been kind of shit. So, yeah. That's why I haven't posted anything else. I still have to do the vocals for that third video of the Whips conversation. I have all the video done. I just have to like put it together, do the voices for the one character. I've been waiting to hear back about a couple of original fiction. I probably should be working on editing those, but honestly, right after I submitted one, then I submit the other, and then life happened. So it's been rough, chat. And I haven't done any of that editing. But my goal is for spooky season is to get some more stuff written for Fleeting Frights. I have a prompt list for Spooktember, which is pretty good. It's just one word ones, so we'll see what weird ass places I take it to. And then I want to get those written, posted, and then also get those read aloud and updated to the Fleeting Frights YouTube, which you guys probably haven't found because I don't have anything on there. Skill issue, I know. But I should do that. Also, there's like a Etsy equivalent that's more focused on homemade instead of just, the mass thing that Etsy's become. So I'm probably gonna try and do some spooky stuff and get those posted. I do have my Halloween ghost earrings still. I could probably get a couple more variations up on that. And I think, did I get the skull beads? I might have gotten skull beads. I don't remember. My place is such a fucking nightmare of a mess. I need to clean. Um, and then like my craft room is just, I don't know what I'm going to do with all the craft stuff I have because I don't want to get rid of it because it's expensive to replace, and I've just kind of, bits and pieces and thrifted so much of it. Also, I went absolutely insane when Joann's went out of business. I think I, I know I spent way too much money. I don't really want to think about how much money it was. Um, so it's like I have so many projects I could start and do like a crafting stream, but I need to get like a dedicated space up for that just so I don't embarrass myself, frankly. And also so I don't have creatures trying to dive into the middle. No, that was not an invitation. That was not an invitation. Go lay down. Go lay down. You're gonna get a bath. A bath. You hate baths. That's not a tail wag thing. Go lay down. Go lay down. Go away. Um. Okay. Well, I'm not gonna keep chatting away forever. I need to get the DLC bot downloaded and then this video uploaded. So hopefully it's not garbage at the end again because it's been trying to do that. Oops. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Cozy Elena. I had my phone open for the chat and it was not it like went to sleep. So um let's see if you can see this. Okay. Oh, now it's saying I have to. Give me a second, I'll log in. Nope, I want to log in. Okay. Now my phone's being a brat. Not. Come on. Okay. I'm actually just going to drop this and pull up this then. Okay, Jesus. Pop out chat. It's going to be easier probably. If everything works. Okay. All right. I don't know if you can hear me. Or if she's still here. Hopefully you're still here. I'm just gonna talk. But I don't remember how much the game was for. I don't know if I can even pull that up, honestly. Let me see. I was just looking at it. No, where is it? Restore. Fine. Oh, $14.99. Whoops. Oh, what is this? Okay, I'll investigate that later. Yes. So, Vampire Therapist $14.99. Why is there fucking useless chats? $14.99. I honestly really enjoyed this game. It hit deep in places. I got a little traumatized. But yeah, no, it was really good. I don't know a lot about psychology, but it does seem like it was fairly well researched and everything. My dog is trying to be a fucking menace. It's really good. There are a couple like little quality things where like the voice acting doesn't necessarily line up with the text sometimes. But honestly, it's not like that big of a deal. It was probably just like differences in script versus what the voice actors actually did. Let's see. Scroll. The dog is useless and obnoxious. Yeah, I don't know if you're still here to see or hear. See new messages. No? Okay. Well, if you're still here, it's a really good game. It's fun. I have a few videos up on my YouTube. Sometimes the quality is a little garbage because it has decided that it will stop like actually recording picture. But I think the audio is still okay if you wanted to like get a bit of that. But it's really good. They do have a sequel that's in development, so that's exciting. And I'm excited to see where it goes. If you want to know about trigger warnings, honestly, vampires and all their stuff in general, it is a very innuendo laden game. Sometimes a little less innuendo and a little bit more in your face. And if your problems with suicide, the ending does dive into that a little bit. So if that's something you're sensitive to, I would try and be mindful about that. But if you just skipped like the last little bit, it would be fine probably. I'm trying to think of anything else to tell you about it. Yeah, that's mostly it without going into like major spoiler territory. It's a really fun game. I've just about finished it. Why are you like this? Stop! Leave me alone. Sorry, my dog is harassing the shit out of me right now. This is why I normally leave you in the crate while I stream. Okay, I don't know why all of my stuff is... Oh, thank you for following. Now that's garbage. But actually, I really don't need the collaboration tab. Okay, that's a little bit better. Okay. Let's see if I can at you just to, if you... emoji. Okay. Garbage. All right. Why did it go? It's a robot. Oh my god. That's so wild. Okay. Um Anywho, um I'll give her a few minutes to respond actually. I'm gonna can I drop this? I should honestly end recording. Sorry guys. If anyone's gonna watch this on YouTube, my apologies. I totally got distracted there. But talked about the schedule. I'll try and post on Tumblr how everything's going. But it's Wednesday. I was gonna say have a good weekend because it's my weekend. But I hope everyone enjoyed this. I hope everyone's excited for a couples therapy DLC. And I'll see you all next time. Have a good one. Bye.